Good afternoon, everybody. This is day 11 of the Great American Post-Bar Road Trip. We are finally here in downtown Washington, D.C. We're at the Department of the Treasury, which is where Alexander Hamilton first combined, well, this is not the building where Alexander Hamilton did it, but Hamilton, as the first Treasury Secretary, was responsible for collecting all the debt of the individual states from the Revolutionary War and for creating basically America's credit rating. This is day 12 of the Great American Post-Bar Road Trip, Friday, August 29th, 2008. We're going to keep this video a little short because basically we've been having problems with video since Washington, D.C. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you at least one video just to identify where we are. We are currently in Linden, New Jersey, not too far from Newark and therefore not too far from New York City. And that's our plan for today, to at least explore New York City a little bit. We won't be bringing you much of the nightlife because we plan to be staying outside of the city for the night. And anyway, this is Captain Bruce saying hello again. And here's First Officer Ken. And here's to hoping that we have a good video and an even better time in New York. Hello again. We are now in the Upper West Side of New York City, Manhattan. It took us a while to figure out a way that we wanted to come in here. We ended up deciding to take the Holland Tunnel anyway and drove around for a little bit until we got here to the Upper West Side. And we can thank Sarah for her tip as to where to park. We ended up finding a place that didn't cost too much. By the way, to get into the city from Jersey through the Holland Tunnel, it's about $8 for those of you who are interested in coming in through that route. As for parking, Upper West Side, near West End Avenue, somewhere between 80 and 90 streets is generally the one area, according to Sarah, where in New York where you are most likely to find some sort of parking, some sort of street parking. Anyway, that's it from us. Hopefully this video makes it, and we're gonna go and try out Central Park. Good evening, everybody. This is again day 12, Friday, August 29th, 2008. We have finished walking around Manhattan. We checked out, what did we check out? Times Square, Wall Street. We kind of got a glimpse of Ground Zero and
New York
and Central Park.
Stock Exchange.
And the New York Stock Exchange. We got to take pictures with the bull. And now we're gonna go and try to start finding our way to Massachusetts. We're here in the Upper West Side. It started raining, so it's a good thing that we're in the car now. And we're going to get back onto the West Side Highway, and we should be able to get through Providence, Rhode Island, and then from there on to Massachusetts. So, wish us good luck, and we'll see you at the next stop. Good evening, everybody. This is still day 12 of the Great American Post-Bar Road Trip. We are here in New London, Connecticut. Earlier today, when we had gone through part of New Jersey to get to New York City, we had gone through the city of Elizabeth, which is still called the city of Elizabeth, even over 100 and some odd years after a sidewalk was invented there. That was a case that patent students will be familiar with. For all the rest of the non-patent students, all the other folks out there, New London, Connecticut is famous for being the case in 2005 or so, a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court called Kelo versus City of New London, Connecticut. The case is about eminent domain, and basically what had happened was that somebody whose house got condemned so that a developer can bring in to develop a new mall, brought a case because he said, well, the mall is a private developer and therefore it's not a public use, and the city responded And the Supreme Court agreed that as long as the city reasonably could expect higher tax revenues from the mall development or something like that, it could then also call that a public use. I believe Justice Souter's comments were a public benefit is a public use. Mr. Kilo actually did get compensated for his land, but as those of you out there who own your own property know, there's sometimes sentimental value to land that you just really can't pay for. So you really want to make sure that government doesn't take your land for anything except a public use, not just any old public benefit. In any case, this, I imagine, may be the very mall that actually ended up being built. As you know, Supreme Court cases take a long time to get up to the Supreme Court, so it's quite possible that while the case was going on, the development was being built, and since along the interstate I-95 here, this is all we've seen that could be a mall in the city of New London, Connecticut. This is most likely what ended up being built. I wonder which corner is Mr. Kilo's old house. Anyway, that's just a little bit of ruminating on law school material. Now we're going to go ahead and try to find some kind of a place to rest between here and Boston, which will mark the halfway point of our trip. Good morning, everybody. This is Saturday, August 30th, 2008. It is day 13 of the Great American Post-Bar Road Trip. We are here at the Old North Bridge in Concord. After a brief skirmish with American colonists in Lexington Green, the British regulars had come here to seize more ammunition and arms. The American colonists showed resistance here, and for the first time were ordered to fire upon the British, and this marked the beginning of the War for American Independence, and it is here that we begin our day today. We've made it now to New Hampshire. This is the home state of Justice David Souter. And as you can see, we're in the White Mountains region, so it's the first time we've really encountered mountains since, a very long time. And as you can see, the sun strikes here in a slightly different angle of light. So, this is much farther north than we've ever been as we continue on our way to Montreal.
Yeah, this music school. 伊丽莎白泰勒的伊丽莎白女王的坐像，我这边拍过一张照片过。Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
We are now in Montreal, Canada.
Oh my goodness!
And we found the building where First Officer Ken used to live.
550 West Sherbrooke Avenue.
It took a little bit of finding, but we managed to find it after all. We had the wrong number in the wrong direction, but generally speaking, we got into the city okay. By the way, there is crap between Montreal and pretty much New Hampshire. There's nothing in Vermont. It's a pretty state, but not much worth seeing. Anyway, finally, we're in Montreal, so let's get the adventure started. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Sunday, August 31st, 2008, day 14 of the Great American Post-Bar Road Trip. We are here at the marina in Montreal. This is the St. Lawrence River. And here's Captain Ken, or I'm sorry, First Officer Ken.
First Office.
And this is the first time he's been back in how many years?
34 years and 3 months.
We've been to McGill University and we'll have pictures to prove it. And now we are just basically walking around in Vieux Montreal, the old city, and we'll see what we can get.